Hi, I'm Jack, and this is the For You Project 2024. Although it doesn't have to be a year, it could be longer or shorter, but for now I'm content with naming it For You 2024. What this is a video diary, a video series of my documentation, my check-in, my accountability for daily improvements in my life because I'm unsatisfied. I figured that this would be a good way to target the things that I'm doing wrong or feel that I'm doing wrong and make steps towards bettering my future. For me in the future, for my family, from friends. There's a whole lot of reasons. But for now, I'll focus on myself. I'm 26, going on 27 this year. I'm filming from a unfinished basement, my parents' unfinished basement to be exact, because I live with them. I didn't always live with them. I spent the last 2 years on my own in a studio apartment down in Denver, Colorado. And I was comfortable. I enjoyed living there. However, last December, I was let go of my job due to a company restructuring. They fired me, but not due to my performance or behavior. So that hurt a little bit. And for the last 3 months, I've kind of been wallowing in my own self-pity, not really attempting to improve my resume, my career skills, not really attempting to seek out exciting new jobs or opportunities. I've been really down in the dumps. And I thought that this project would help me hold myself accountable, would help me improve things that I want to do, would help me set up a better future. And really, it's just through my own sheer will and deliberate choices. So, I've managed to write down a few steps, a few objectives for this project, and I'll share them now. Step number 1, get a job. Like I said, I haven't been too willing or wanting to find a new job, and I think that needs to stop, because the future is always coming closer, yet I have the ability to be prepared to form it in a way that I want it to be, and yet I'm not doing that. So I need to find a job. The good news is I've been steadily applying for jobs over the last few months, and I had an interview earlier this week that's moving into a second phase at the start of next, as well as another interview that's been scheduled there. That's great, and I hope that those go well. I'll be studying and preparing for those, and I want to land a new job. Step number 2, move out. While I see nothing wrong with living with your parents, especially if they're willing to help you out, there's so many amazing benefits, such as being able to save money, having a shelter over your head, being welcome in a place that you know you are. I think that my growth is being stifled here. I think that if I'm complacent and willing to just let things pass me by, let the future go, hope for miracles, that staying here is only going to compound that. I am not someone that feels like an individual. I am not, what's the right word? I don't feel like I am making steps or proving or taking strides into bettering my future deliberately. I think that complacency is killing me, and among a whole other reasons, really. But yeah, I need to move out. I need to take ownership of my life, and living here, I'm certain that I will not be able to. So, step number 3, save money. I'm fortunate that I do have a savings account, and I do have a bit of money in there. But when I was living on my own for 2 years, making money that I thought was comfortable, paying my bills, getting to do whatever I want, I really didn't touch my savings. And even if I did, by now, I've drained whatever I gained out of it. So, a new objective of mine is to deliberately save money, to make sacrifices, to not spend money on video games, to not, waste my time away hoping that, I can leave my savings alone. No, I need to build it. I think this is something that will improve my life. I think it's something to focus on. And while I'm not ready to eliminate all fun from my life and just grind and rise and grind, I think it's important that I focus on saving some form of money, because emergencies can happen. I could get let go again, and if I don't have my parents supporting me, I still want to be able to support myself. So I want to save money. Step number 4, pursue a career. I mentioned, I can't remember now. I have a bachelor's in computer science. I really didn't use that degree effectively. I think that my hope is that my degree would secure me a job and I wouldn't have to worry or stress anymore after getting out of college. That is very not the case, and it was foolish for me to think so. But again, when you're hoping and planning for miracles, you make a lot of really silly decisions. I need to correct this as well. Having a background in computer science means I have a lot of options for pursuing careers, and I want to make that a focus of this year, is that once I feel stable, not even once I feel stable, this really doesn't have to be step 4. This could be any of the steps, is that I need to commit myself to improving my skills and to build out a career that lets me support myself, a family, future friends, anything of that nature. So, pursue a career. And again, all of these are very vague and, not quite detailed, but I hope to add to these over time, make steps, better identify the box in which they fit in, and show that here in this video diary series. As for steps, that's all I got. It's a slow start with lofty goals. But I feel like those are solid steps, big identifiable things in my life that I can correct as soon as possible. I also have a bunch of other objectives throughout this project. First one being, become physically fit. I like to make a joke, and I'm sure other people can somewhat relate. I think that my freshman high school self, about 13 years ago, could probably kick my ass today. and I'm not joking, really. Back in high school, I didn't have as much of appreciation as I do now for the idea of community sports, of active friend groups. It was very easy to be physically fit, at least in my case, and it's something that came naturally to me. And that completely went away when I went to college, and even more so years later, having not really exercised or ever enjoyed the idea of going to the gym. So, I want to become physically fit. I want to be able to look myself in the mirror and kind of be proud of what I have and what I look like. And in some ways, I've already made great strides in that direction. For example, when I graduated college, I was 230 pounds, and I'm 6'1", 6'0", I don't know. It's between those numbers. And now, as of a few days ago, I currently weigh in at 165. That was mainly due to my change in diet, my change in portion sizes, and a little bit of light exercise when I play tennis and pickleball. But I can do a lot more. I can become physically fit. And I think the reason that I've been avoiding this so much is because in high school, when I was extremely physically fit, I did have a lot of problems with my body image and looking myself in the mirror. it was hard to identify fat, muscle, leanness, and whatnot. And I would look at myself and remember thinking, oh, I am fat. If I looked at those same pictures that I had of myself, I'd see nothing but skin, muscle, abs, and I questioned what was going through my mind, what I saw that was so odd or discomforting. So, having a healthy level of self-reflection, I think becoming physically fit to a not an obsessive degree, but to a large degree, will be an improvement for my life. Another goal I have: find new hobbies. I am very aware that video games have become my main hobby, and they have continued to be my main hobby for maybe nearly a decade, maybe longer than that. I need new hobbies. For one, I think that it's a good chance for me to get outside, meet new people, because ultimately I live in a great area, in a beautiful state. I love to go hiking, and yet I can also say that and know that I do not leave my house unless it's for errands or things that require my attendance. I don't go out drinking. I don't have many friends. I just typically play video games, and that's not okay anymore. So I'm going to find new hobbies, and I think this will be a fun thing. It's a creative experience. It's a creative outlet for me to find new ways to express myself. And when I do branch out into new hobbies, I've noticed that it does positively impact my life. I'm excited about life, and that's my goal. Speaking of hobbies, write more every day, or write more stories. So I did mention that aside from video games, I do write. Admittedly, it's fan fiction, and it's novice level. But over the last 2 years, I did write a long novel that is a higher word count than Harry Potter or Game of Thrones. And to my surprise, it received amazing reception in a fandom. That story sits at the number 1 or number 2 most popular story in that fandom. It's been the most read by 100,000 views, and it's the most talked about. And it got me to build a community of amazing people that love my work, and that was really exciting. I met so many different people. I know artists now, I know other writers, I know fans of my work, and I've met one really, really great friend while doing this. So I want to write more stories. One story in 2 years is a little bit, it's not enough. I can do more. I can push myself. And that's, again, what this is about, is not being complacent, not, drifting because I want to. This is about deliberate focus, and I've said deliberate a lot, but it's true. I want deliberate focus, and I want to write more stories so that I can continue to feed that community that I've cultivated and meet more people. It's great when someone reads my work. It's great when they appreciate it. It fills me with a lot of joy. And without that, if I did not write more stories, I fear that I would lose my connections to those people and miss out on the ones that I could have made. So, write more stories. Another thing, which is the main theme of this project: improve every day. While I may upload videos daily or weekly that are about, ramblings, thoughts I have, ultimately what I want to have in every single upload is a few, if not just one, reason of why I think that I improved today or the day before. I'll say the day before. And so I want to improve my life, and I think that I know what I need to do. I don't think I need guidance in very many areas. I think this is purely my own selfish neglect of my life and the lack of appreciation for a future that I want to live in. So I want to improve every single day. An example of that is that yesterday I cleaned my room for the first time in 3 months. Yeah. Maybe I'll show some before and after pictures because I took some. And yeah, it's not great, but it's an improvement. So, I mean, I let myself live in a place like that, in that room, always getting cluttered, never cleaning it. And I know enough about psychology to believe that it's probably my depression speaking, and that I just didn't have the energy or effort or desire to clean that room because it was too much work. That can be a reason, and there's nothing wrong with that being a reason. But as of today, it's not an excuse. So, those are the things that I want to focus on. These are the improvements, no matter how big or small they may be. I want to show them off and just be proud of that. Which leads me to the last point. Be proud of who I am and who I become. This is my effort to acknowledge that my life up until now has largely felt meaningless and empty, and I've felt like I have no purpose. But I don't want to look back on my decisions, my choices that I made, and not be proud of that person. I think I can say that I can point out the stupidity in my choices, but I don't want to be angry at the person who I am. Despite the fact that I played video games all the time, I can still be proud of the fact that I'm fairly good at video games, better than the average person, and can pick up games faster than most people can and already master what's available. I'm not pro or streamer level, but that's just something that I want to recognize, is that there's something to take pride in. Like I said, I wrote that book. I'm considered fairly smart, I would like to think, and I'm genuine and kind, I'd like to think, and those things I want to take note of, so I never look back on myself and regret what I did. At least I don't hate it. So I'm going to be proud of who I am, who I was, but more importantly, I want to be proud of who I become, and that's the purpose of this series. So that's the For You 2024 project. I plan to continue to update this as much as possible every day with a new improvement or a new thing to share. And whether you found this video by accident or whether you've just, want to see this journey that I'm on, that's great. Primarily, this is for me. This is my improvement. This is my future that I want to build. And there's another reason that I started this, maybe just as important, but I'll get to that in a later video. All right? Bye-bye.